Guys, we have till 15.24 and real life I have till now, which is 2051, which is 8:51 because 22:15 is 10, so I have till 10:15. So let's get on with this. He was going. The badger sat down in the armchair, reading the paper and not concerning himself in the slightest about what was going to happen that evening. The rat, on the other hand, was running round the room busily, with his hands full of weapons of every kind, disturbing them in full little heaps on the floor, saying excitedly under his breath as he ran, "Here's a sword for the rat, here's a sword for the mole, here's a sword for the toad, here's a sword for the badger, here's a pistol for the rat, here's a pistol for the mole, here's a pistol for the toad, here's a pistol for the badger," and so on in gradually hymnatic way, while the four little heaps gradually grew and grew. Before I continue, yes, I have wet my hair because I wanted to. The pyjamas I was wearing in my shop earlier, she wanted me to change out because me and her both been wearing our pyjamas both this week. So yeah. But it was a nice song. I felt fresh. "That's all very well, Rat," said the badger presently, looking at the busy little animal over the edge of his newspaper. "I'm not blaming you, but let's just once get past the sort with those citizen guns of theirs. And I assure you, we aren't want any sort of pistols. We thought with our sticks once we're inside the dining car. Why, we shall clear the floor of all of them in 5 minutes. I'd done the whole thing by myself, only I didn't want to disturb you fellows of fun." "It's all well to be on the safe side," said the rat, respectfully, polishing a pistol barrier on his sleeve and looking along with it. The toad, having finished his breakfast, picked up a shook stick and sung it vigorously, burning boarding. Imaginary animals. "I'll learn them to steal my house," he cried. I'll learn them. "Don't say learn them, Toad," said the cat, greatly shocked. "It's not good English." "What are you always nagging at Toad for?" inquired the rat pitifully. "What's the matter with his English? It's the same what I use myself, and if it's good enough for me, it's good to be enough for you." "I'm very sorry," said the rat tremblingly, "only I think it ought to be teach not learn them." "But we don't want to teach them," replied the badger. "We want to learn them, and what's more, we're going to do it too." "Oh, very well, have it your way," said the rat. He was rather muddled about it himself, and presently he retired into a corner, where he could have been heard muttering, "Learn them, teach them, learn them, till the rat told him rather sharply to leave off. Presently the mole came running tumbling into the room, evidently very pleased with himself. "I've been having such fun," he began at once. "I've been getting a rise out of the sorts." "I hope you've been very careful, Mole," said the badger anxiously. "I should hope so too," said the mole confidently. "I got the idea when I got into the kitchen. To see toads." My accent just changed. "To see toads?" Breakfast being prepared for him, I found that old washerwoman that he came home in yesterday. Washerwoman just that he came home in yesterday, hanging on a towel house behind the fire. So I put it on, and the bonnet as well, and the shadow, and I went off to Toad Hall, as bored as you please. The sceneries went off lookout, of course, with their guns and their who comes there, and all the rest of their nonsense. "Good morning, gentlemen," says I, very respectfully. "Want any washing done today?" They looked at me very proud and stiff and hauntedly and said, "Go away, washerwoman. I don't do any washing on duty, or any other time. So I say, ho, ho, ho." Wasn't I funny, Toad? "Poor vicious animal," said Toad very proudly. The fact is, he felt utterly jealous of the mole that he had just done. It was exactly what he would have liked to have done himself, if only he had thought of it at first, and hadn't run and overstepped himself. Some of the sots turned quite pink, continued the mole, and the sergeant in charge, he said to me, very short, he said, now run away, my good woman. Run away. I won't keep my men idle and taking on their post. Run away, says I. It won't be me that will be running away in a very short time from now. Oh, Molly, how could you, said the rat, dismayed. The badger laid down his paper. I could see them pricking up their ears and looking at each other, went on the mole. And the sergeant said to them, never mind her. She doesn't know what she's talking about. Why have I changed accents when I'm reading? I have no idea. Oh, don't I? Said I. Well, let me teach you that. I just changed it again. Well, let me show you, my daughter. She washes for Mr. Badger. And that show you whether I do what I'm talking about. Know what I'm talking about. And you know that pretty soon too, 100 bloodthirsty badgers armed with rifles are going to attack Toad Hole this very night. By this rate of packet lock, 6 boats, lots of rats with pistols and crutches will come up to the river and landing in the garden. Well, a picked body of toads, known as the diehards or the die of glory toads, will storm the overcut and carry everything before them, yelling for vengeance. There won't be much left of you to wash by the time they've done with you, unless you've cleared out while you have the chance. Then I ran away, and when I was out of sight, I hid, and presently I came creeping back along the ditch and took a pee at them through the hedge. They were also nervous and flustered as they could be, running always at once and falling over each other, and everyone giving orders to everybody else and not listening, and the sergeant keep sending off parties to the stand parts of the grounds, and I'm sending other fellows to fetch them back. And I heard them saying to each other, that's just like the Weasleys. They also stop comfortably in the banquet hall and having pastries and toast and songs and all sorts of fun. Well, I must. Stay on guard, in the cold and dark, and in the end, be cut to pieces by bloodthirsty badgers. Oh, you silly ass, said Mole, cried the Toad. You've been and spoiled everything. Mole, said the Badger, in his dry, quiet way, I perceive you have more sense in your little finger than any animals have in the whole of the fat bodies. You have managed excellently, and I begin to have great hopes of you. Good Mole, clever Mole. The Toad was simply wild with jealousy, especially as he could not make out the lie for him what the Mole had done was particularly clever. But fortunately for him, before he could show temper, expose himself to the Badger's sarcasm, the bell rang for luncheon. It was a simple but certain meal, bacon and board and beans and a mashed pudding, and when they had quite done, the Badger settled himself into the armchair and said, well, we've got our work cut out for us tonight, and it will probably be pretty late before we go quite through it, so I'm going to take 40 winks while I can. And he drew a handkerchief over his head and was soon snoring. The anxious and neighbours Toad at once resumed his preparations and started running between his 4 little heaps, muttering, here's a belt for the rat, here's a pat for the mole, here's a pat for the toad, here's a pat for the badger, and so on with every fresh incontinent he produced, to which he seemed really no end. Then the mole drew his arms through Toad's, led him out into the open air, shoved him into the wicker chair, and made him tell all his adventures from the beginning to end, which Toad was all too willing to do. The Mole was a good listener, and Toad, with no one to check his statements or to go criticizing him from this bit, rather let himself go. Indeed, what he related to belonged more properly to the certainty of what might have happened had I only thought of it in time instead of 10 minutes afterwards. Those are always the best and wisest massacred adventures, and why should they not be truly ours, as much as somewhat uncredited things that really come off. We finished chapter 11 finally, but I don't understand why I keep changing accents. I just did it now. Oh god. Oh, it's because I'm going up though. Bye guys. We only have one more chapter to read.